Okay, so for my Pareto project this year in AP Lang, I decided to work on organization, which is something that I really always kind of struggled with in school and even outside of school. And it's actually helped me a lot, and it led to a lot of direct correlations because I realized when you're organized, you're not nearly as stressed, which is kind of cool because I used to be really stressed, and now that I've been working on organizing, it's gotten a lot better. So here I have an old chem binder, and this is what basically all of my binders would look like in previous years. Even most of this year until I really figured out what was happening. So this is from this year before I stopped kind of using this, because I stopped using it. So the first step for me is I don't like it when, it's going to sound really ironic, I don't like it when things look messy. So the papers don't always bother me, but I hate these plastic things. When they rip, I just can't look at the binder. So for me, I always started by cutting these right off as neatly as I could. And this just led to me wanting to look at my binder, if that makes sense. I wasn't upset when I looked at it as much. So you kind of just cut a little bit and then you peel it as close to the edge as possible. Now, it may make it look a little bit more messy, but I think it definitely looks a lot better than what it did before with all of this plastic polluting it. Okay, so next on my to-do list, so the materials I really needed were just regular notebook paper, filler paper, and then two different types of section dividers. So this one is actually one that you just put in, and then it's just going by section. And then this I kind of felt was more useful for me, an actual folder type thing for me to put all my papers in there, and that just made the world difference to me. So I'm going to start by completely emptying this out. And I'm just going to look, and basically, as you can see in the beginning of the year, I was actually good about putting stuff in there, and then it all just completely fell apart because I got extremely lazy. So I'm going to start by just taking all this, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first half, and I'm going to look at the last page and see if it is at all relevant. Which this section is not. This is not something that I need. My final, I don't need it on the review sheet. So basically from all this, I don't need this. So this is going to go right in the trash. So that was something really useful by looking at the first half and seeing if you needed that. Because then you can always adjust. If you needed sheets on the end, then you could go through. So now I'm going to continue to go through and kind of weed out. Now this radon gas worksheet I need. But this lab, I don't. And any kind of spare notes, I don't at all. I always felt that old quizzes were useful, so that's going to be kept. This is not. And then the crazy thing is you always find something from another class. So this is vocabulary terms for social studies. Don't need this. Don't need. Basically, that's all garbage. Nope, that's part of a lab that I don't need. Don't need this. No, and this is all dating back to Valentine's Day. This is a Valentine's Day lab, which is completely out of control. Okay. So, now that I have sorted out everything I need, I'm going to take out all the used notebook paper, filler paper I might say. Now this is going to be where you keep all of your notes and everything, and I'm going to keep this unhooked. And I'm going to show you why I prefer these to these. So basically what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to actually punch holes in yourself. So right now I'm just going to poke holes in, which is not good. But, you know, you live and you learn, I guess. I guess I don't have a hole puncher present. There we go. One last one. Okay, perfect. And now what you're going to do, so these are both worksheets that I need to study and just to have for maybe future reference in a class. It's always good to keep stuff that you learned. Okay, so even just by doing this, when I close this up, I just feel like it's so much more organized. And right now I'm going to go get a pen. I'm going to show you how much more organized it looks. So basically you can just write labs plus worksheets, and then just turn this around. It's not gonna work. You can kind of see it. And then when you close the book, you may see a little bit of the excess labs out of the folder, but it looks 110% better. Now this is just for one of my binders, and I hope these tips helped you learn how to organize as well.